After almost 500 hours on Ranger, it's time to ask, should you even play this class to begin with? And I'll be honest with you, absolutely. It is my personal favorite class in Guild Wars 2 by far, and that is purely because of the longbow that I've got right here. Now, Ranger will give you a plethora of options to play with, primarily based around the pets. Generally, most people are going to be running Soul Beast, which is the secondary DPS rendition, which sort of turns you into Marksmanship Hunter from World of Warcraft. You'll merge with your pet, so me and Steve would become one, as weird as that sounds. And with that, I would gain access to all of his little pet abilities down here that I have set up to autocast. Fun fact, if you control right-click your pet abilities, they'll autocast for you. You're welcome. That took me a very long time to learn. But I absolutely love Ranger purely because of Longbow. This is one of the best weapon sets I think this game has to offer because it all works together. So if we use my auto attack and then my secondary, the auto attack will pull them towards me. I then use the third ability to go invisible and put down the rain of arrows, which will then keep doing damage to them whilst Steve is tanking. And since he's tanking them inside the barrage, I get even more damage on them there. You have access to the invisibility on hand whenever needed. You can push things back when needed with point blank shot, even though point blank shot is one of the buttons that have been trolling people for a very, very long time in the entirety of Guild Wars 2. Although some people consider that an advantage, I'll be honest with you. Because you can do some very hilarious things in your fractals, but you can also carry very, very easily with Ranger because it has a lot of options for healing, utility, and just flex damage across the board. Now, with this setup, of course I'm playing Longbow, what if I switch over to my other setup? I have a Shortbow Trapper going on right here. Now with this, I have a Shortbow. This is why I love Ranger so much, is it really lets you use the stupid ideas as much as possible. So we'll switch over here, and now we're going to be focusing on condition damage instead of power damage. And with this, you'll see the pets also changed. I got Toothless over here, who I can have do some fire damage stuff. You should go up into the air, I believe. Or is it this button? It's like a Pokemon battle. Of course, you can go around the entire world, picking up all of these pets, which is just awesome. I think Ranger is probably the one class to go for a 100% map completion with, because Rangers actually add even more to the overworld. To get every single pet plus map complete the entire game to get my Kudzu is my ultimate goal, which will basically be 100%ed on New Game Plus, in a good way to put it. But yeah, I absolutely adore this class. It's a lot of fun, gives you a lot of flexibility, and then like I said, with the multi-classes stuff, or the multi-spec stuff, with just a couple of button presses, with access to the equipment template system, then you gain access to the ability to switch on the fly, and that's where Ranger really gets its effectiveness. Because like I said, for 1 second here, I'm playing Condi, and then all of a sudden, if I get out of combat... Oh, I pulled a bunch of stuff, hang on. That's fine. I'll kill this instead as well. If my group, for example, would need a healer, I could switch to a druid setup with pets. Or if I didn't feel like playing druid because I got forced to play druid in my raid and, you know, that just really turned me off of it for whatever reason, you can make a... Now they're trying to push Soul Beast healer. That could be really fun. You can mess around with that. You could also make an Untamed healer. Now, I haven't done that just yet, but it is on the list of builds to do, so keep an eye out for it, since I really, really want to try it in fractals at the top end. But Ranger is definitely one of my favorite classes in the entirety of Guild Wars 2. The only downside to playing Ranger is the patch notes are literally unreadable. And what I mean by that is that with all these pets, and with all of these pets, and with the fact that they all have abilities, and you can merge into them with Soul Beast, the patch notes are going to say things like, oh, Consuming Flame buffed by 10%, and you're going to be like, what? Rangers have that spell? It's like with Elementalists trying to read the patch notes. So, across the board, I would say Ranger, genuinely fun if you enjoy Longbow. However, don't hold out hope for any of the other ranged weapons because ArenaNet, for whatever reason, chooses not to give them to Ranger. Pistols? Oh, that makes sense, but we'll give that to Elementalist's Rifle. That's more Mesmer material, personally. So, aside from that, and, well, trench coats, I think Ranger is worth playing.